Thank you for making it to another episode of the Money Exchange Podcast. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for being with It's My Money with Patrina Dixon. If you haven't already, make sure you drop down and go to the left and hit the subscribe button. It should be in red letters for you. If it's not in red, that means you're already subscribed. And thank you for rocking with me each time. This is Patrina Dixon. I am your finance lady. I talk everything personal finance and entrepreneurship. And I'm here today with Joy. Hi, Joy.
Hi, Patrina. How are you?
I'm well. I'm so excited to have you on the show. Joy is calling in from Uganda. Hi,
Yes.
Joy. Tell them about your wonderful country.
Right now it's 7:19 p.m.
Okay. So for her it's 7:19. For me it's 12:19 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, we got a little bit of a time difference. So appreciate her for staying up with us and or working later today so that she can be on this episode. So as a personal finance coach and entrepreneur, I also have a podcast, and Joy is the operations manager for my podcast. So because of the great work she does with the podcast, I said, you know what, we should have you on the show so you could talk about your services to the audience, the viewership, and those that are listening in. So Joy, tell them a little bit about your business.
So I started taking virtual assistant work seriously like in 2019 with the pandemic and everything. I was working 9 to 5 here in Uganda doing social media management. I wasn't content with the pay. And then one day I just, I would say it's by mistake, I accidentally stumbled onto a virtual assistant job, and the job description had everything I would do because social media doesn't change around the world. Someone in Uganda will still need you to create content, schedule, as well as someone in the US. So I just applied for it. Like I turned on my job notifications on Facebook and I applied for it. So when I applied for it, the lady, Jocelyn Kopak, got back to me. And she said, hey, Joy, can we have an interview? And the interview was on Sunday and we worked. And then we started, I worked with her for close to 1 year and 6 months, but then she closed down her agency. And when she closed down her agency, and during that period, I took the 90-day VA course while working with her. So after taking the 90-day VA course, and then when she closed down her agency, I said, you know what? I think I can do this. This is something I can do on my own. I don't need to maybe work under someone. And I'd learned a lot from her and working with her business. Working with business owners in the US is very, very different with us here in the US. The tools, like it's a whole different world, like literally you guys are on a whole different spectrum. But working with her, I learned all those things. So I decided to decide to look for clients by my own. And yeah, I started pitching, applying for jobs on Facebook. And when Clubhouse came, Clubhouse was really the banger for it. It's what transformed my whole business. And I decided to work with a certain number of clients. And yeah, up to now, yeah. And I met Patrina. I met you in Clubhouse. Yeah.
I love how you got started. A lot of people talk about, finding this virtual assistant business as opposed to just going out saying, I want to start a virtual assistant business. I started with either doing a task for a small business owner or something like that. So as I mentioned, I am a podcaster. I'm also a YouTuber. If you're watching me, you know that. If you're listening, you know that as well. Joy is the person behind the scenes on my YouTube channel. So Joy, I know for me, you do tasks associated with podcasting, but you're not limited to that, right? You do other virtual assistant tasks for various different business owners, right?
Yes, I do. I do administrative and social media tasks. So that's really where I focus: podcast, admin, and social media. Yeah.
Okay, great. And you said Clubhouse has been really a funnel for you to get additional clients. So how has that been? Why did you find Clubhouse being the funnel to find clients for your business?
I feel like in Clubhouse rooms, if you're given that 1 minute and you say the right thing in that 1 minute pitch about your business, especially in the networking rooms, if someone resonates with you immediately, they reach out. So for me, that's how I feel like I've been able to get clients. And the fact that it's linked to your Instagram and then people can see your work, because I don't hide my portfolio. It's all there in the link in my bio. And the clients who I've worked with, I showcase my work there. So I feel like because it has that link to Instagram, and then people can see who you're really about, and you can attach face to it, really. So I feel like that's a very good funnel for you to get clients. And I feel like that's really hard. That has helped. That's what has helped me get clients compared to maybe applying for like a job and stuff like that. Yeah, because on Clubhouse, someone will say, "Hey, can you send me your portfolio, samples of your work?" And then they say, "Hey, I'd like to book time on your calendar." Well, if you apply for a virtual assistant job, you're applying with 100 other people. They're gonna send you a test. It's really, really work. It's really, really work. Yeah, yeah. So Clubhouse has helped.
So, like we just mentioned with the time difference that we have here, how do you go about working with people that are on different time zones? And like you said, for where I am in the United States versus where you are, there's a big time gap, about 6-7 hours. How do you go about securing clients where they want to get on your calendar, have a live conversation with you, but they're doing it, on their time, which may be nighttime for you? How do you manage through that?
First of all, when we hop on a discovery call, I remember the first time I hopped on a discovery call with you, I told you, "Hey, Patrina, I'm in Uganda. Are you okay with that?" Like, that's the first thing I talk about with a client. Like, it's if that's the first thing, like, "Hey, how are you?" I say, "Hey, where are you located?" Maybe I'm in New York, what, blah, blah, blah. Then I say, "Hey, by the way, I'm in Uganda," because I don't hide that fact. It's on my Instagram, it's on my Clubhouse bio. So if someone agrees to work with me and say, "Hey, I don't mind the time difference as long as maybe you are available to me during EST time." Personally, I'm always available during EST time, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., 5 p.m. I'm always up, even late, like 7 p.m. So really, that's my time. I like to tell people that I'm seated here in Uganda, but my brain is somewhere. You can choose one state in the US with EST time. And I try to make myself available during those times because I know that communication with my clients is key during that time compared to maybe any other time. Maybe it's because our time zone is East African time zone and you guys are asleep at that time. So
Yeah.
personally, I don't have a problem staying up as long as the client is willing to work with me despite being in Uganda. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
And so, when someone starts off on an entrepreneurial journey, right? There's finances that they have to prepare accordingly. How did you prepare? One and two financial questions I have. How did you prepare to start working out on your own? Because you were working, you said, for somebody else. You applied, you were working there, but their business is no longer, and you started your own. And then secondly, how did you determine how to price what you do? Was it based
Okay.
on what you were, what the other person had priced their particular services for? Or how did you work through two of those? Because I know that could be challenging for some business owners as when they're first starting out, how they go about that process and what in order to attract clients, they have their prices have to be at parity with other people that are doing the same things. So how did both of those work for you? How did you get started? Did you prepare financially accordingly? And then two, how did you come up with prices for your services?
Yes, yes, I really did prepare financially. When I started working with my first client, I didn't leave my job until after a year.
Oh, okay.
And you can imagine, I used to do the 9 to 5, run back home, turn on my laptop and work like up to midnight.
Mhm.
Then the next day, and I did it for 1 year. I was so fatigued. And the irony is, I was actually earning more from my remote work as a virtual assistant, but I was very, very scared to take the leap and be like, "Hey, so I want to be a VA and I don't want to do this waking up early in the morning and going to work kind of stuff." Because I didn't know how to explain that to my parents because we have this idea that, hey, we want to be in big offices. And I have nothing against that. But
Mhm.
personally, it wasn't working for me at that time. So when I decided to take the leap, I'd already made sure that I'd saved, because everything that I used to earn from my 9 to 5, I used not to touch.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow. For a
I used
whole
not to touch.
year, you didn't touch it?
Yes, I didn't touch it, especially from around the third month. I didn't touch it at all.
Oh wow. So I mean, you could be as transparent as you want here or not. How so not everybody can take their full 9 to 5 salary and put it away. How were you able to do that? Do you have other income coming in within the house? How does because
So
as people are listening, right? The goal of the
yes.
show is for them to understand how can I do something similar. So that's a really great accomplishment that you were able to save for a whole year, your entire paychecks that you got from your 9 to 5. How was that doable for you?
Yes. So my if I can equate it to dollars, because I know your audience
Yeah,
is in
yeah,
the US, I
yeah.
can equate it to close to $200 per month. That's what I was earning in my Ugandan job.
Uh-huh.
And my virtual assistant job was earning me around $1,000,
Uh-huh.
depending on the kind of work that the agency had bringing on. So some
Okay.
months I would make 600, some months I'd make 700. On very good months, would make like $1,000. And the client was very generous. She'd be like, hey guys, so we had these clients this month. Everybody, this is what you're taking home. And boom, we are rejoicing. So what I decided to do was say, hey, this $200 that I'm saving, I'm making from my other job, let me save this up. And when I finally get the courage, then maybe I can jump off and have this. So yeah, that's really how it worked. Because for me, when I looked at my virtual assistant work, it was bringing me more income, like more. I don't know if that's it twice. It was really a lot compared to what was coming in from the 9 to 5. Yeah.
Wonderful. And then pricing. How did you determine how to price what your services?
Yeah, so taking the 90-day VA was a very, very, very good thing for me. I forget the founder. I think she's called Esther something. Her course is very, very good for anybody who wants to do virtual assistant work. I really recommend it. So she had everything from teaching you how the different aspects of virtual assistant work, the tools, what different business owners want, as well as how to price your services. We had a price calculator. So at the end of the day, we're talking about how many hours do you want to work. So that means this is how much money you're supposed to price your services at if you want to work for these hours. And then these are the tools that you're using for your business. Are you using Headliner? You're a podcaster, podcast manager, are you using Canva? So she gave us a whole price sheet where we just put in different rows and columns, maybe the number of hours we want to work, and then the tools that we are using, and then it would calculate everything, and then that's how someone would come up with their price for their
Wow.
services. So yes, so that's how I was able to price. Yes,
Yeah,
really.
I also know another person that does a wonderful VA boot camp here in the United States. So I'm going to
Mm,
drop that link in the show notes. So if you're in
yes.
the United States or wherever you are, if you're interested in virtual assistant business, I do have a contact that has a boot camp that's really, really, really well done. And I know that she's trained a lot of people within her program. So I'll put that link in the show notes as well. So look for that. So, who is virtual assistants for? So, I know small businesses secure
Mhm.
virtual assistants. So, what should a where? Tell me about the characteristic of an ideal client of yours for your virtual assistant business.
The first thing for me is they have to be comfortable with my location. If they are
Oh,
not, yes.
yeah, yeah. But outside of that, because I mean, you said you're transparent. You're in Uganda, so they're fine with that. But I mean, other things like
Yes.
what? Sometimes, I feel like people don't understand
Mm,
the time they can get back in their day as a small business owner when they delegate, I'll call it,
mm.
their various tasks within their business to other people that are skilled and love doing those tasks. So, talk about clients that maybe you've gotten and it didn't work well, and why didn't it, or that clients that are looking to and are doing what you said, like they're working a 9 to 5 and then they're running home doing their business. If they can unload some of that stuff, what would be ideal services or tasks that you can complete from a business for a business owner that's listening in?
I beg your pardon, ideal services and
Yes,
tasks, you said?
yes.
So for I'll start with basic administrative work, for managing their calendar, their email accounts, email management, Then just also helping them maybe with file organizations. That falls into basic administrative tasks, maybe reaching out to them in case they have an inquiry they would want to make to someone else. So that's in regards to basic administrative tasks. Then other tasks that I would focus on also are social media. So I noticed something that is very different from us here in Uganda, like how online business entrepreneurs take it very seriously, and how you guys are always posting. I'm always looking at your page, Patrina. I wake up to your message, to your to your post.
I
Your
love
post,
it.
your post is like the first thing in the morning. I'm like,
I
"Hey,
love it. I love it.
she's not playing. Everybody has to know she's the finance lady, she's the money lady."
I love you said you wake up to my post. I love it
Yes,
so much.
yours are the first. Yours are the first. Like, so you guys are very, very active on social media and use it as a tool to promote your business. And that doesn't mean that you're posting like maybe about yourself, maybe you're here at FinCon or something like that. No, you're being serious. You're telling them, hey, I'm Patrina, I'm the money coach. I'm teaching you about this. You're putting it in their faces. So
I
basically,
love
social
it.
media management, that's something I have learned to do. Yes, so social media management and then podcast management. If someone has a podcast and they would love for me to take the load of them, because this is work, getting it edited, writing the show notes. It's close to 3-4 hours, depending on how long the podcast is. So
Mhm.
if you want to delegate that, yes. Then I really, really love to work with clients who are willing to delegate. Some people want to give you the work, but then will be all over you the whole hour. I don't work like that because I don't want to be constrained. I just want to deliver when we're supposed to deliver. And also I like clients who inform you ahead of time, because you're not the only client I'm working with. I'll be very honest with you. Say, hey, I have other people I'm working with. So if you give me a task at 10 a.m. EST and are asking me to deliver it by 12 p.m., I'm gonna say, hey, this was not on my schedule for today. So I just need someone who's organized, who knows that, hey, I need this kind of assistance and I need you to come into my business and help me. So we don't go back and forth. You had a discovery call, we are messaging, but you're not very sure about if you want to bring me on your team to help you. So basically, that's it for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So it sounds like you're in your business, you do virtual assistant as well as social media management. And I even see
Yes.
your post for your business. I see that you're coming forth a lot, which I love, is showing
Mm,
value. So not just trying to ask somebody hire me. It's like let me help you. Let me provide you some tips on how
mm,
you can incorporate these into your business, and then hopefully that'll translate into people saying, okay, this Joy understands how to grow a podcast, how to grow your audience. Maybe I secure her service for that. So I love how you're doing that, because I didn't see a lot
yeah.
of that from you when we first got started. So I love that you're doing a lot of that now. That's really good.
Yes, and I'll be honest with you, for us as VAs, there is a tendency for us to run other people's pages and not run ours.
Yeah.
And for the whole of last year, I think I stopped doing that around March, April. I stopped posting on my page
Yeah.
because I had a whole lot of work. But for my clients, their pages were up, their episodes were getting published, and then in the beginning of the year, I was like, no, 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 I gotta do something. If I wanna reach out, because my goal is to teach other people what I know.
Mhm.
So then I have to show up as someone who knows what I'm talking about. And then that's how I started posting. And I think you noticed, hey, she started posting, she's around. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
really good, helpful tips. I think that's what I, excuse me, I try to share with entrepreneurs, that's newer starting, or even that's already in the business. Provide
Mm,
value, and have great customer service. That will be your repeat client. That will be your referral to the next client. So oftentimes we want to sell. You want to let people know you have something going on and where they can purchase, but you also want to provide value. And when a person is that know, like, trust. So they know you because they see you online or wherever they see you all the time. And then they begin to like the information, and then they trust you because you show up all the time. You're transparent. You're not hiding behind a nice Canva photo. You're coming forth and showing yourself. Then that's how it translates into a sale. So I like that you're doing that more for your business as well as for the clients that you serve. So if somebody's considering being a virtual assistant, no matter where they sit in the states or otherwise, what would you recommend to them? Like, how many hours in a day do you spend? What are definitely you need to do this, but then here's some things that I really don't like in the business, but I have to tolerate because it comes with the what I'm doing.
I would say, first of all, to a person who wants to become a VA, first be sure about how many hours you can dedicate, because virtual assistants are like, for me, I personally see like they're the backbone of the business. Because if you're working with a business coach as a VA and you are building their lead pages, you're ensuring their social media is posted, basically you're doing all the back end stuff to make them look good. So it's really serving someone at the core of it. You have to be really a servant, like you have to be a servant at heart, because you have to think about this person's business. I know you're running yours at the end of the day, but if I start working with you, Patrina, I'm always saying, hey, Patrina, I'm thinking about you as the money coach through your podcast, making you look good despite me working with you, because you've paid me already. The rest of it is to make you look good. So basically, I'd say to someone, think about that, and then how many hours can you give? I wouldn't say maybe work 8 hours, 10 hours. That's something that's very, very dependent on somebody, and that will also help you decide on what your rate is, because someone can say, hey, I want to work only for 5 hours, so I'm going to charge $50 per hour. Something like that. Or I'm going to work for only 10 hours and then I'm going to charge $20 per hour. So basically that's it. And then I forget the other question.
Oh, wait, let me ask a question on that. You just brought up a good point. So are you saying a person should have a range of how much they charge for the same service depending on how many hours? So if you want to work 5 hours and somebody else wants to work 10 hours, the person that wants to work less hours would charge more for the same amount of work?
Yes, I know people do
Really?
that in the
So
VA world.
let's just say holding a phone for a client, the average price is $20, but because you want to make $100 in the day, you're going to charge the person 100 versus the 20 that most people charge because of
Yes,
what you're trying to earn in your business. Really?
yes. I
Oh,
know that my rate here, the one that I charge as Joy, is not the one that another virtual assistant charges. I know people who charge $50 and above. We are actually in Facebook groups where they say, do not drop jobs here for less than $15. So
okay, so the rate that people come about within the virtual assistant business is based on how much they want to make in the
yes,
month, not based on what the service is.
it's very dependent on them. Very, very
Wow,
dependent
that's
on
it.
them.
Well, I guess that's the reason why people go into business, right? Because they want to be able to
Mm,
price accordingly, whatever that is for them for the month. That's
yes,
the beauty of entrepreneurship, right? So you can
yeah.
take on the clients you want, you can not take clients if you don't want to, and you can charge what you feel you deserve for your services.
Yes, and that's what people do. People say, hey, I want to work with 5 clients and this is gonna be my rate. And I don't know if it's just this year or when the pandemic started, this whole, I don't know whether I'd call it wave that has been going about raising your rates, blah, blah, blah. Yesterday's price is not tomorrow's
Oh,
price,
yes,
something
yes,
like
I've
that.
seen that. Yes.
Every business owner is talking about that. I don't know how many times I'm on the internet and they're telling us to raise our rates. I'm like, so if all of us are raising our rates, who's gonna pay who? But anyway, we are still raising. We're still gonna raise them. We're still gonna raise our rates. So yes. So basically, it's someone's. Let's say how much they're charging per hour is very, very dependent on them as a business owner, as a virtual assistant, how much they want to make from their business. Yeah. So for me, I'll charge mine dependent on what I really want to earn and what my financial goals maybe are. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. And then what now, you've been a virtual assistant for a while. What is it about virtual assistant that you don't like? There's got to be something that, you wish didn't come with a part of the role.
What don't I like? I'm trying to think about it. I think I think there's something that we don't talk about, burnout in VAs. I don't like the burnout because it can tend to happen.
Mhm.
Because let's say I have these clients, maybe whose podcasts are all supposed to come out bi-weekly, or I'm gonna write a content strategy, let's say for next month. I'm gonna assess someone's content strategy for next month. And then as I have another client whose strategy I'm supposed to revise and create content for. And remember, I cannot measure metrics until it's like maybe the end of the month. So
Mhm.
if I'm working on 2 clients at that time, trying to give them reports, there's a certain sort of burnout that will occur during that particular week when I'm trying to create content for Patrina, for Joy, at the same time. Remember, I have to deliver for all of you.
Yeah.
All of you have paid me customer service, all that we have talked about it. Yeah. So that's something I don't like, but it's very inevitable because at the end of the day, I feel like that's something we have to deal with. And I don't want to say it's something we have to deal with like normally, but you cannot avoid burnout in your business. However, you have to find a way to find ways to get out of it. Maybe you're gonna say, hey, I'll give you a report at this date, and then maybe I'll give this other person a report at
Yeah.
this date. Yes. So you just have to be very certain about your time and how you share it around the day, and yeah, then you can
Hmm.
get it. Mm.
Love it. So if somebody, what are the last tips you want to leave? So leave one tip for somebody that's interested in virtual assistant, being a virtual assistant or social media manager, and then give one tip for small business owners that don't have a virtual assistant or social media person today, that why they should consider that.
So for anyone who wants to be a VA, I just want to tell you that you don't have you shouldn't let your location or anywhere or where you're placed at the moment deter you from going after it. I'm based in Uganda. Patrina is my client. She's based in the US. So I feel like at the end of the day, if it's something you want to pursue it very diligently and get the knowledge about it. There are a lot of people teaching about virtual assistant businesses right now, and very good recommendations that you can get from other VAs, and be around other VAs. Home groups. I found a very great clubhouse room that I'm in, the Sisterhood of Traveling VAs. Make friends who are virtual assistants so you can know, hey, so they introduced this tool and it's what's on right now. Business owners have now moved from maybe using ClickUp. We now have this new task management tool and stuff like that. So be about it, and be about it seriously if that's something you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Oh, you can go, Patrina.
No, I was gonna make sure you did the second part of the question. Yep.
Yes, and the second part is for any business owner who wants to work with a virtual assistant or who needs a virtual assistant. I would say, Pastor says, if you need this kind of help and if you're willing, budget, create a budget for it. I was listening to another podcast where they were talking about delegating, and the lady said something. She said, if you're planning to delegate tasks, or or if you say, hey, I think I want to bring someone on my team, and then they should help me, but you're worried about the money, because the money is what everybody's worried about.
Mhm.
Like, hey, will I be able to pay this person? I don't want to be the person who is people are waiting for pay from someone's livelihood is very dependent on me. I don't want to be that kind of person. So she said, create a separate account and start dropping there how much you want to offer that virtual assistant. Maybe you say you have only $20 to offer. As you're thinking about it, if you can do it consecutively for, let's say, 6 months, then you have the capability to bring on someone. And you're not going to touch that money when the time comes for you to bring in a VA. Then you're going to hold that money and keep it when there's a crisis in the business. And that money is what you can now say, hey, so this is what I'm going to use you to pay, because business today is high, tomorrow it's low. But remember, if you want the kind of help that you want, then you have to be ready to pay up for it. So I liked how she brought it up, and I was like, yes, this is what people need to think about. Not bring on someone because as when someone says, hey Jay, I want you to help me with something, oh my God, you're so excited. You're saying, hey, I got a new client, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. They're like, hey, so they're like, there's this thing they say, so I'm pivoting. Pivoting is another way to say, so I don't have money to pay you right now at the moment. I'm changing the structure of my business. So I don't think I'll get back to you after some time. Then you know you've lost the client. So be certain that you have money to pay because we are offering you a service, and then be willing to delegate the task. Delegation is so hard, but it's very possible. So yeah, those are
Yeah.
my tips.
And as a business owner, I'll share some tips that
Mm,
I have found. The first, so I'm now 6 years in business. In my first year, I did everything by myself, and
wow.
did the business like I'm 6 years in, so that means it's sustained.
Wow.
But what I was doing, like you said earlier, come home before I started my 9 to 5, I
Mm-hmm.
was working in my business after my 9 to 5. So, the time I was spending with my family, the time for self care, the time eating proper meals, that was not there. So, I was, what were the tasks getting done? Absolutely. But did I have the time and the balance that I needed in my life? No.
No.
So, when I first secured a virtual assistant, or before it was virtual assistant, it was I had interns and I had people physically in an office. But when the pandemic happened, I no longer had the physical brick and mortar office and everything was virtual. We were all virtual. I then
Wow.
secured a virtual assistant, and it was some of the best money spent in my business. And let me tell you,
Mm,
business owners that are watching, why. One, is the person, you don't have to have overhead of an office to have somebody going into the office. They have their own equipment, own
mm,
location. It could be from their home, whatever it is. Secondly, they work for other people as well, not just for you. So the virtual assistant also offered me things, various different things that can be more efficient in my business, the way we work together,
yes.
the various platforms that various things were on. So their knowledge in how to effectively run the business was brought in to the business as
Mm,
well. So it's certainly money well spent. I agree with what you said about making sure you can afford it
yeah.
within your business, but don't just think about affording it from money. Think about affording it from time. Like,
Yeah.
can I do all of those tasks? Absolutely. Am I a quick study? Absolutely. But my lane of genius is being here and talking and sharing with all of you and being in various different rooms teaching personal finance. So the more I had to do the administrative tasks, the less opportunity that I had for doing
Yeah.
what I would say I'm really great at, right?
Mm,
So think about, when you think about the money, think about the less hours in time you have to bring in the revenue that you need to bring within your business if you're doing all the admin stuff. So you want
yes.
to make sure that you get the right person, they understand your business. Make sure when you secure or search for a VA that you're ensuring that you're writing down exactly what you need help
What
with.
you, yes.
Yeah, because some people have certain niches, certain industries that they work in, so you want to know that. And then, like Joy and I work together specifically, not on admin tasks, but on I call her my operations manager for my podcast, because I talk like I'm doing right now, and once I'm done, it then goes. Like, I don't touch it after that. So you have to be comfortable with delegation, and then people ensuring that people understand your expectations, and then let them
Yeah.
go, let them do them what you're hiring them for. So it's really, really great money spent within your business. I encourage you, if you don't have one today and you feel like you're overwhelmed, you're swimming, take time to sit down to figure out what you will be comfortable delegating, and put a price around that,
Yeah.
and put a time around that, so you can see the difference in how long it's taking you to do it, and how much time you will gain from doing that as you think about a resource like this. So I really encourage you to consider that. Like I said, for those of you that are interested in becoming a virtual assistant, I will drop a link
Mm,
below to somebody that I know who has a really great virtual assistant I think it's a
Boot camp? You said boot
I think
camp.
it's called a boot camp. Yeah, I think it's called a boot camp. Who's done really well. She's been noted for the work that she does in teaching others to be a virtual assistant. So I encourage you to check that course out if you're interested in being a virtual assistant. So Joy, you've dropped some great gems. People are going to want to know how to reach you. How do they find Virtual Joy?
They find me on Instagram at VJ. Yes, so that's it. So you find me on Instagram at VJ, and we can connect. And on Clubhouse, if you're in Clubhouse, you can find me. Joy Aliba is my handle. Just ping me into your rooms. Go, let's follow. If we're talking about God, entrepreneurship, I'll be in your room. Yeah.
Yes, love it. So, Joy, thank you so much for being on, sharing, staying up with us. I'm from Uganda, calling in from Uganda. I'm always excited when I talk to somebody in a different country. Thank you so much for doing that, that we were able to connect for a time that worked best for both of us. And that's the other part is just communicate when works best. And I know it for her, for sure, she'll make time for when it's necessary. And then she'll communicate with you on the medium that makes best sense for the both of you. So I appreciate you for rocking it here with It's My Money with Patrina Dixon. If you're watching us, if you're listening to us, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you from wherever you come from, listening or watching. I appreciate you always rocking it here, keeping it locked. And if you just happen to scroll by and you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you will get all of the episodes that I bring forth where I have wonderful guests like Virtual Joy or Joy on with us, sharing what she does and how she got started. So if you're interested in becoming an entrepreneur or learning how to prepare financially for that, then you want to stay tuned for that and be notified when we have other episodes. I also have little small tip videos that have financial information to help you along your financial journey as well. So if you subscribe, you'll get all that information come right through your phone as you're scrolling. So make sure that you're one of those that subscribe. So I'm going to make sure that I put Joy's information and the virtual assistant bootcamp information down in the show notes. So make sure you drop down there and check it out. And one more ask. If you enjoyed, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, engage with us. Let us know that you enjoyed what we had to share with you today. Thank you for rocking again with us. I'm Patrina Dixon, your personal finance coach, and It's My Money across all social platforms.
Thank you, Patrina.
You're welcome.